As the Lakers shot 29 free throws, the Warriors shot just 6. Some bizarre numbers here in San Francisco. Green, nice feed inside. Jermichael to Draymond in the first hit of the game. D'Angelo Russell misfires there. Curry throws it ahead. Here's Jermichael Green inside, lays it up and in. He had 6 points in 8 minutes in game 1. James knocks down the 3, and that's a great sign for the Lakers.
Green drops, and Curry's a smaller defender.
Curry finds Draymond Green. Clear path to the basket. No one coming to help, and an easy bucket.
That's a tough shot. Good defense by Wiggins.
Curry, step back 3. First one is good from downtown.
Getting is outstanding so far.
Well, one of the things Steve Kerr said before the game, we simply need to make shots. As Russell makes that shot for his second field goal. James, no hesitation, got another 3. Hachimura goes back door. Oh, nice give and go. Hachimura. Moses Moody, back out DiVincenzo. Reverse layup is good off the glass.
Shots fired with a dunking, man.
Okay, I was just asking.
Hachimura knocks down that one. That was back in the NCAA tournament. James using the screen, finding his way, pulls up, jump shot is good. LeBron James 10 points already. Finds some room, bank shot, he can't get it to go. And Davis with his 4th rebound. James, the spin move and the layup. DiVincenzo thought about it, now drives. Beautiful feed inside. And Looney with a bucket. He's 5th in the 8 playoffs in three-point percentage at 52%. Curry connects. Second field goal for Curry. James pulls up inside the arc. Got it! LeBron James lighting it up here in the first quarter. 1.5 remaining.
When he's not in there, it's been Dennis Schroeder. What do you like about the defense they're playing against Curry?
Just keeping a body on him.
Stolen by Curry. Curry on the drive, now pulls back, finds Klay Thompson. His three-pointer. Curry comes back to get it. Vanderbilt right with him. Curry gets past him. Oh, what a scoop layup for Curry. And a hang in the air, a little extra. And the Warriors have scored 10 in a row. James on the drive, gets to the rim. Russell. Bad pass, but it finds its way to James, who has to hoist it up. And he puts it in. Wow. LeBron James with the shot clock expiring had to throw it up at the rim. Moody a rebound. And good minute for Moody. Pull, reverse, banks it home. Golden State back up by 2. Such a critical player for these Warriors. Missed all those games at the end of the season with a personal family matter. Last 25 games as Thompson hits a 3. Hachimura, three-pointer, it's good. Rui is rolling right now. And it's a 2-point game. Schroeder the floater. Davis on the follow. Just the second field goal for Anthony Davis, but it'll bring Thompson lobs it into Green. Klay Thompson feeling it a bit right now. Knocks down another 3, his 4th of the first half.
Think about how great of shooting he is.
Misses that one. DiVincenzo with the save. Here comes Wiggins. Thompson is open. Fires up a 3. Got it. Lakers do not have a foul to give. Shot clock is off. Here's Draymond Green. Goes to the rim and throws it down. A breakdown defensively there for the Lakers.
Multiple efforts. He said, I want us to keep doing everything that we're doing, but better and harder.
All right. Russell knocks it down. Thank you, Lisa. Thompson cuts back. Reeves right on him. Reeves trying to fight over the screen. Thompson gets a little room. a three.
Pressure on your defense when he has the ball in his hands initially.
21 assists for Golden State. LeBron James knocks that one down. 23 points for LeBron James. Curry searching. Gorgeous feed. JaMychal Green throws it down. He got hit in the head too. Thompson fakes, fires, puts it in. Draymond Green looking. Curry gets free and gets the layup. Reeves. Thompson does a good job defensively. Reeves does a better job on offense. Knocks down that three. Reeves now 7 points. Curry fakes a pass. Now gets it to JaMychal Green. And hits a three.
And the interesting thing is, if they win this game moving forward, do they stick with this lineup in game 3?
Well, Steve Kerr's shown that he'll stick. Dude, I like it.
Curry gets free. Fires away. Got it. Steph Curry has taken a lot of shots, but he's 5 of 7 from the field, and it's a 22-point lead. Reeves to Hachimura. Moody getting minutes again. Hachimura drives on him. Oh, what a finish from Rui Hachimura. He's got 16 points off the bench.
But you talked about a coach taking advantage of that size, posting him up.
Yeah, if you're going to have to chase a smaller guy, and again, he had Curry on him as Thompson hits another three.
Counted and a foul. Davis took a bump from Poole. Warriors are down 3-1 on that series. Curry hangs up to the pivot foot. Wiggins extra pass. DiVincenzo connects. And comes up with it to Wiggins. Back to Curry. Curry fires away a three. It's good! Golden State plus 10 on the boards. James drives inside. Pass to Hachimura. Nice feed from James. Mooney's played 12 minutes. Inside Moody. Moody goes in and throws it down. Lakers just standing there that time.
For one possession, he gave it his all.
Hachimura stops, pulls up. Jumper is good.
Players that complement Steph Curry.
Curry counted and a foul. Chance for a 4-point play.
For the most part,
well, they've shot magnificently. Three. Tristan Thompson lays it up in first points of the season for the former champion with the Cavaliers back in 2016. Played a lot of games against the Warriors back when he was with Cleveland. Curry an air ball.
If I'm Steve Kerr, I'm getting Draymond Green and Steph Curry out of this ball game.
Walker inside and Thompson throws it down.
It's frustrating losing in the playoffs. What are your feelings about it?
losers. Not my type.
What did you call?
You keep talking to him, Mike, because I don't want to.
Wait, what did you call them?
Losers.
There's Kuminga. DiVincenzo can't get it before. Gary Payton tips it up and in. Did a magnificent job as the point guard. Nice feed, DiVincenzo to Payton.
The Hall of Fame with Chris Mullin.
Nice steal there from Beasley. Lays it up and in. You talk about
how to work in the gym. Not just go in and get up shots, but absolutely be a technician in your work.
By the way, his hair is exactly the same as 91. Moody went to the basket. Harrison played him well. And Payton puts it up and in. 4.5 remaining.
And Lonnie Walker knocks in a three.
These two teams that went through a lot of highs and lows during the regular season just to get here. We've already gone through some highs and lows here in the first two games of this conference semifinal.
Perk, Anthony Davis was enormous, which is another reason I hate small ball, because I'm looking at the Warriors going, what are they supposed to do? Perk, what are the Warriors supposed to do against Anthony Davis?
They can't do nothing. Nothing.
What's the first thing you're going to do to try to limit the Anthony Davis damage?
Nothing they can do about it. Looney is too slow of foot. Draymond's too little.
Apparently, Draymond Green is too small for Anthony Davis, and the Warriors have zero chance of containing him. So I guess that means plays like this shouldn't happen.
Now drives on Green. Green pokes it away. Comes up with a steal.
And it's more than just forcing turnovers. Since Draymond took the challenge of guarding AD in the second half of Game 1, Davis has scored 18 points on 7 of 20 shooting, and the physicality of Draymond has given him all sorts of problems. But before we talk more about Dre's generational defense, right here in this list is every single Steph Curry playoff game so far this season. And as you can see, he is averaging a ridiculous 31 points on great efficiency. But what if I were to tell you this game right here was his second best game of the playoffs? Yes, his lowest scoring game. Now you probably think I'm referring to the 12 assists. Well, yes, but it's more than just the assists. This was the Los Angeles Lakers game plan in Game 2. No, I mean this was really their game plan. And as a result, the Warriors absolutely carved the Lakers because of Steph Curry's brilliance. Take this play for example. Steph brings the ball up the floor. He goes behind the back, not once, but twice to get rid of Reeves and AD. And so let me pause right here. 3 Lakers defenders are within arm's length of Steph, so he kicks it to JaMychal, drawing both Vando and Reeves with him before J-Mike kicks it to Wiggs for an open 3. Or in this play where Steph draws 2 defenders, throws a perfect pass to Dre, who takes one dribble, draws LeBron, and kicks it to JaMychal Green for 3. Wait, hold up. Why is JaMychal Green even in the game, let alone hitting threes? Well, prior to the game with the illness to Kevon Looney, Steve Kerr had a masterstroke, and he decided to start JaMychal Green. Through 8 playoff games, Green had played in 4 games, and had scored a total of 6 points on 28% from the field and 28% from 3. Yet in a must-win game, he finished with 15 points and knocked down 3 triples. But do you want to know why JaMychal Green's presence was really important? Watch this clip from Game 1. Loon has the ball at the 3-point line. Now look where AD is. He's hanging in the paint. So when Klay makes a backdoor cut, instead of being able to get to the rim, he's forced into a contested fadeaway because Davis is lurking there. So in Game 2, the Warriors had to come up with a couple of solutions. One of those included JaMychal spotting up in the corner, and the other included Steph Curry controlling the ball more, which forced AD further up the floor because, well, you can't play drop coverage against Steph Curry. And this is where the combination of Steph, Dre, and JaMychal were able to take away the Lakers' best defensive weapon. But forget about all of that for a second. Can we just appreciate that in a must-win game, these 3 guys all performed again. 2 33-year-olds and a 35-year-old still dominating playoff games. And what I can never get over with this trio is how they all affect the game in different ways. I talk about Steph, and we'll talk about Dre more, but Klay's second quarter changed this entire game. The Dubs ended the first quarter trailing 26-33. Over the next 12 minutes, Klay Thompson played the entire second quarter, hitting 4 threes, scoring 14 points, and recording a plus 18 in those minutes. And he did this 2 ways, getting out in transition and taking advantage of AD camping in the paint. Like here off an inbound, Klay gives it to Draymond. The Warriors set 2 screens on Klay's man, and instead of settling for a mid-range shot, he goes behind the arc and knocks it down. Or in this play where Dre sets a screen out top, and Klay decides AD is being disrespectful giving him that much room, so he knocks it down. But my favorite and the most important 3 of the half was this shot.
Thompson is open, fires up a 3, got it!
That might just seem like an ordinary 3, well, for Klay Thompson at least. Just the play before, Steph Curry had gone to the bench in foul trouble, which we all know normally results in the Dubs offense falling apart, but Klay wasn't allowing that to happen this game, and this 3 was huge in keeping that lead for the rest of the quarter. Now, whilst Steph and Klay kept the offense together, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who kept the defense together again. But no one should really be surprised, because following AD's Game 1 performance, this is what Draymond said on his podcast.
So you got to give him credit. He dominated on both sides of the floor.
And that's on, myself to try to change that.
Now, it's one thing to say you were going to change the next game, it's another thing to go out and absolutely dominate. I already showed you the clip of Dre picking AD's pocket, and his isolation defense makes him a great defender. But what makes him one of the greatest defenders of all time is the fact he's always in two places at once. This is what I mean. D'Lo blows straight past Clay on this possession. Dre has to then rotate over to block the drive. The moment D'Lo makes the pass, Dre is able to shift over and contest AD shot perfectly without fouling. Or in this play where Davis sets a screen to get Dante behind D'Lo. And watch Dre here. Not only does he shift over to help, but he stabs at Russell to force him into passing. He then rotates over before the ball has even touched the ground. And once again, look at how well he contests this shot without fouling. Now, I saw a lot of people suggesting those were shots Davis usually makes, but it's easy to forget Dre not only has a 7'1" wingspan, but as I showed you, it's his ability to contest vertically without fouling that makes a huge difference. Also, don't think for a second that the Warriors wouldn't rather AD take contested mid-range shots and floaters as opposed to getting a free lane to the rim, which happened too often in Game 1. However, this wasn't the only major adjustment the Warriors made that changed the game. I'm not talking about JaMychal Green either. I mentioned Steph controlling the ball a little bit more, but that was really the difference. Not only did he have countless hockey assists by doing it, but he also had 12 regular assists, which included a one in the pick and roll, and this one in particular, I mean, you can see it for yourself. I don't think I even need to explain it. This is Jared Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis surrounding him, boxing him in, yet he's toying with them just to the point where he can create a wide open lane for Looney. I mean, Andre Iguodala's reaction says it all. And in addition to his playmaking, another thing that makes Steph so hard to guard when he has the ball in his hands is his ability to move after he gets rid of it. Steph has D'Lo on an island. He gets straight past him. AD helps over, so Steph kicks it to Dre before relocating for three. And this isn't just useful for Steph, this is how you punish the Lakers for sagging off the Dubs non-shooters. It's just natural that people are more likely to lose concentration on a give-and-go play, and that's what Steph Curry has been taking advantage of for his entire career. But enough about these old guys. Can we show some appreciation to the forgotten youngster? Paul, Kuminga, and even Wiseman have often taken the spotlight, but in these playoffs, Moses Moody has been the one to step up. Over his last 4 playoff games, Moody has played 15 or more minutes in 3 of those games. He's been more of a weapon in the playoffs than he was in the regular season because he just makes the right plays. Sometimes that even includes cooking LeBron James with the shot clock expiring, or more frequently, it includes plays like this, where after Wiggs fails to get the tip, Moody wrestles for the offensive rebound before drawing a foul. And it's just the little things that he does that have been really nice for this team in spot minutes. Now, with all of this being said, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more. Have a great day. Bye.
Welcome to the Low Post Podcast on a Friday morning. The second round of the playoffs is underway, and the biggest, most anticipated series is now tied at 1-1. The Golden State Warriors make some adjustments, go a little smaller, overcome an illness to Kevon Looney, and blow out the Los Angeles Lakers, continuing a rather anticlimactic streak of home teams who lose game 1, obviously home favorites who lose game 1, coming back and winning game 2. I believe that is the 16th straight such game 2 win for a home team down 1-0. But we are 1-1, and that series will resume on Saturday. We get Sixers Celtics 1-1 after a boring game 2 blowout where James Harden came back to earth and Joel Embiid didn't solve all the problems. And Nuggets Suns is also tonight. That's the only 2-0 series. Heat Knicks, bloodbath, slugfest, old school, slow-paced bully ball. That resumes on Saturday. We'll talk about that. Bobby Marks, how are you?
How's it going? Going good. Ready to go. Big weekend. Big weekend of NBA.
Big weekend of NBA. I got to tell you, Bobby, last night, only one game. 9 p.m. tip-off, which, because it was on the glorious family of ESPN networks, really means like 9:17. And everyone's like, where's the game? Can we just start the goddamn game? It's 9:17. Apologies to ESPN overlords. It's just a thing. It's annoying. And I'm sitting there, and even though I'm not at the game, like I normally would be for a finals game, like I had the butterflies in my stomach of a finals game because of the late tip-off, because it was the only game on, and just because you do have these moments where you sit back and you look at Steph Curry and LeBron James and Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, Anthony Davis, maybe to a lesser extent, and you're like, man, these guys are still at it. Like I've lived, these guys have been main characters in my life for a long time now at the absolute highest levels of the game. And you look back at some of the old clips of, Dave McMenamin had that great essay we've been running, video essay, of like the 15-16 finals between Cleveland and Golden State. And Curry just looks so young. And everybody looks so much younger. And here they are, and these just sort of megawatt names. And it's just, I got the butterflies going in my stomach, and I had to remind myself, it's a second round game. It's not an NBA fun. I have like, I'm on a group text with some neighbor friends, and none of them are real NBA fans. One of them just texted the group yesterday morning being like, did you guys know, trivia fact, did you guys know? And she said, Zach probably knows, but did you guys know Steph Curry and LeBron James were born in the same hospital in Akron, Ohio? Like everyone is dialed, like people who don't follow the NBA are aware the series is going on, and it's now 1-1, and all the Golden State adjustments to open up the floor seem to work. Anthony Davis, after laying waste to the Warriors in game 1, had a quiet game 2, and now we go back to Los Angeles. What did you see, Mr. Marks, before I go crazy about what I saw?
It's funny. What I saw was something that JJ Redick said like a month ago. And I think this was even before the playoffs started, when he looking at kind of the Warriors offseason as far as what needs to be addressed. And this is kind of jumping once the playoffs are over. And he said, basically Draymond and Looney together basically plugs everything up, right? They didn't really have a space, a stretch four or a big like Brook Lopez that can shoot threes, stretch the floor. And what you saw last night is you put Draymond at the 5 and you put JaMychal Green at the 4, and it just opened things up, for a guy that, let's face it, really didn't play that much. He didn't play at all really in the Sacramento series and came out and had 15 points. But the reality is, this was a Laker team that was up. What were they up 8 in the second quarter before Golden State went on that run? And I know certainly Golden State was up, going into the half here. I just thought the pace. I thought the from like the 8-minute mark of the second quarter on, that Golden State just dictated the pace, right? Like just even when they got into the half court, I thought Draymond did a really good job pushing AD away from the basket. But man, the shot making continually amazes me with Klay Thompson. Like they're not easy shots. Like what he made last night here. And I thought what they did was they limited Jordan Poole's minutes a little bit here. They kind of reined him back in.
He was awful last night.
Yeah.
Awful.
Even some of the fouls he made. Yeah,
5 fouls. It was very fitting that the first Lakers free throws of the game were on Jordan Poole just standing up straight in a non-stance, which I guess is his stance.
Steph Curry delivered last night, dropping 20 points with 12 assists in a 127-100 Warriors win. This comes after a 27-point performance in Game 1 and that unforgettable 50-piece he dropped in Game 7 versus the Knicks. Look who's here, CJ McCollum. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right, I'm going to start with you. Hey, Big Perk, we still got you?
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere, Molly. I'm
Okay,
right
cool.
here.
Pinky, you're back too? Okay, cool. CJ, you've gone against Steph many times. Tell me this. Which Steph should the Lakers fear more? Pass first Steph or shoot first Steph?
I think you fear shoot first Steph more, mainly because of how efficient and effective he can be. He proved that in Game 7 of the Sacramento Kings series, going for 50. That was the most aggressive we've seen him in a long time, scoring off the bounce, scoring in isolation, scoring in pick and roll. I think you can live with him passing. It's just a matter of who he's passing to. In last game, he was passing to Klay Thompson, who was extremely hot. He goes 8 for 11 from 3, scores 30. The Warriors have an insane record. They're like 76-18 when Klay Thompson scored for 30 points, and that's including playoffs and regular season. See right here, Steph being used as a decoy, set the screen for Klay. Klay gets open. Steph's ability to not only draw crowds and kind of serve as a gravity, if you will, for their team, but his ability to score is something that is well known. But when he's passing to Klay, he's passing to Dre, he's passing to J. Michael Green, who was implemented in the starting lineup. I think that's when he becomes most effective because he's using everything he has to offer in his game. But I would say that the shooting is what scares you most. And you live with J. Michael Green, you live with a lot of those other guys who are very capable of doing it, but they're not capable of doing it for an entire series.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you. I wish I had you on here a couple more segments ago because I was just arguing about that. But it scares me when Steph Curry has the ball in his hand. He's being offensively aggressive, looking for his shot. But the 12 assists, Steph Curry, that's the stuff that I would rather take if I'm on the opposite team. I would rather him dishing it out to others like Draymond Green to make those guys be scorers and things to that nature because I believe I have a better shot at winning the ball game when Steph Curry takes only 12 shots in a ball game. So I'm going with the fear of Steph Curry shooting, and I'm living with him passing.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that God ever created, plain and simple. And the fact of the matter is that when that brother has the ball in his hands and he's got a shoot first mentality, I don't know if there's anything in the league that instills more than that. It is simple and plain. Shoot first, Steph Curry, all day, every day. Is that quick enough for you, Big Perk?
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Really? Is that really what we're going to do right now? You're killing me. Is this a petulant child moment because we're tired? Because you got called out and now we're not going to fill the segment?
It's no petulance whatsoever. I don't have any problem with KP calling me out because he was absolutely right, because I'm not going to lie to you. You don't hear me say this often. It's very rare that I've been as exhausted on television as I am this morning. I'm tired as hell.
You relax, because you know what? You relax, because you do work very, very hard. Because I got these two. CJ and Perk got me covered. So, Perk, what do you expect to see in Game 3?
Well, the same stuff I seen in Game 1 and Game 2. And Molly, look, I watch every show, even when I'm not on it, okay? And I heard CJ, First Take and Get Up and all the shows. My TV don't turn off.
I'm sure your wife really loves that, but carry on.
No, she actually
but it is important to point out, I believe you, but you watch nothing when you watch First Take. I just think it's important to say that.
Here we go. But here we go. And I was watching CJ. Can I request? Can I be Stephen A for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Can you put CJ on the split screen with me?
Yeah, you should. He's got a great suit on.
There you go. There you go.
Only one Stephen A. But all right, go ahead. It's only one.
Don't start, man. Listen.
Rest your voice.
I heard CJ talking about how basically the Warriors have the edge right now, and I got a problem with that. He knows good and damn well that a series that's 1-1, when the Lakers got one on the road going back home, the edge goes to the Lakers. And I just want to know if CJ, I'm going to give him an opportunity to change his thought, and because he had time to think about it and come back and say, you know what, I was wrong, Big Perk. I shouldn't have said that on the get-up because I don't know what I was thinking about at that moment. I just don't.
I wasn't wrong, Big Perk, but I understand what you're saying. I think moral of the story is, after watching Game 1 and Game 2. Understand the Lakers did go in there and punch them in the mouth in Game 1 and establish their dominance. AD was great, 30 and 20, looked fantastic. Schroeder played well. D'Lo played well. I love what I seen from them. And then I watched Game 2. And I watched the first half. Third quarter started. Son was already asleep. Wife was asleep. Shortly after that, I was asleep. I didn't watch the rest of the game because I seen what was happening. I seen the Lakers let go of the rope, understand that they're going back home for Game 3. And I went back and watched it again, and I seen how the Warriors won. And the way in which the Warriors won is sustainable for the long haul. They can win with shooting threes. They can win with playing fast. They can win with 9 free throws. The Lakers can play fast, but historically they haven't shot the ball well from 3. LeBron hasn't shot the ball well from 3 all playoff series. AD shot 1 free throw in Game 2. That's a recipe for disaster. He has to get to the free throw line. And I think the moral of the story is, although they did get one in the Bay, that was an impressive win in Game 1. It was very, very impressive. I think the way the Warriors won in Game 2 showed me that with adjustments and ability to play JaMychal Green, the ability for Draymond to guard AD, he did a phenomenal job on AD. He made it very difficult for him. I think they can sustain the way they played last night and translate that into more victories. And I think the Warriors are going to win this series. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Stephen A., you tired, right? You tired, right? So sit over there and relax for a second.
Yeah.
Let me say this to you. I strongly believe, CJ, that the Lakers fell into the Warriors' trap by shooting the threes, and they let them off the hook. I think LeBron, AD, Rui, they have to take their behinds down in that paint on the low block. I want to see more post-ups from LeBron James.
Who is more riding on them this series? Is it Embiid or Tatum?
I think, believe it or not, it's Jason Tatum. And the reason why I feel that way about Jason Tatum is because Embiid has an injury that he's playing with, and we always take that into consideration. His health being a factor, to some degree, there's just certain things that you're not going to hold against him, because obviously these are not bogus injuries. He's been injured throughout his career. His first 2 years in the league, he didn't play a game. His third year, I don't think he played about 51 games or so, missed about 31 games. This is what he's had to go through his entire career, whether it's his foot or his knee or his back. We understand that about Embiid, and I think the fact that he missed Game 1, he was questionable for Game 2, but ultimately tried to play anyway, you're looking at it from that perspective. With Jason Tatum, there's really no excuse. You look at the Boston Celtics team that's the reigning Eastern Conference champions. You didn't really lose anything. You added Malcolm Brogdon. Obviously, it's a big pickup. Everybody likes that. Everybody sees what they are. You lost Ime Udoka, but Mazzulla has done an outstanding job. I don't think anybody can deny that. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I think here's the other thing that puts more pressure on Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is the best player on the team. He is not the best player in the postseason over the last 2 years. And that has been Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has been a more reliable asset for the Boston Celtics than Jason Tatum. And so when you look at it from that perspective, assuming that Jaylen Brown is going to continue to do what he's been doing, you are going to look at Jason Tatum. They won the other night by 34 points or whatever it was, right? Jaylen Brown had about 25 points. Jason Tatum had 7 points. Now, it's not a big deal because they won the game. But as you reflect on this team, if they falter and fall, you're going to look at Jason Tatum and ask yourself, what did he do? With Embiid, you're going to say, was he healthy or not? Because we know what he can do when he's healthy. With Jason Tatum, you're going to be like, what did he do? And that's what, especially piggybacking off his performance in the NBA Finals last year. So I would say there's a little more pressure on him.
Yeah, so I would say Joel Embiid here, because one of the things is we just don't know what's going to happen with James Harden in the offseason. He's an unrestricted free agent, and there's a couple of things to point out here. The Sixers lose an advantage in free agency on Harden because they're not allowed to sign him for 5 years. You run into the over 38 rule, and so he can only get a 4-year contract, and he can only get a 4-year contract somewhere else. Not that I'm advocating you give him 5 years at this point, but that's a factor. It's been very loud. Woj reported on Christmas Day that Houston really wants to get him back. They have cleared salary cap space. They intend to do it. I don't know what's going to happen with James Harden. I don't think anything's been decided, but it's uncertain. It's absolutely uncertain. And so the Sixers have the best team they've had in the Embiid era. And I agree, Stephen A., his knee is not right, but he is also playing through it. He went and got a procedure to try to get back. He's openly said, I shouldn't come back. It's 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to come back now. He's doing that because he realizes the chips are down right now. And if Harden walks, it's not like, oh, we have 30 million cap space, we'll go sign another player. That's not how the team is structured. So I think whoever wins this series is going to have a great chance to get to the NBA Finals with home court advantage, and whoever loses it is going to have some real issues to deal with.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
Perk, tell me this. Who has the edge now, the Lakers or the Warriors?
Last time I checked, the road team was Lakers, and they got the split. They're going home 1-1 with the series tied 1-1, and role players play better at home, Molly. So I expect Jerry Vanderbilt to play better offensively. I expect Austin Reeves to play better offensively. I expect these guys to elevate their game in the crypto.com arena. The Lakers have the edge. And hell, in game 3, Stephen A. alluded to it earlier, Anthony Davis will rise to the occasion. He will have another bounce-back game. And if I'm the Lakers, I feel pretty damn good. Right now, they kind of, in my opinion, have Steph Curry under control, although it's hard to control him all the way, but they're containing him enough. Their game plan is pretty damn good. I believe that Moses Moody, he will not do what he done in game 2 for us going on the road. I think Jermichael Green came in and played a huge part. The Lakers have the edge. The series is tied 1-1, and they're headed back to the crib.
I don't know, Big Perk. I hear you on who has home court advantage in this one, but as I've watched the first 2 games, to me, the team that seems to be able to maintain or sustain what we've seen, it looks like it's going to be the Warriors down the stretch. Look, the bounce back thing, we know, highs and lows with Anthony Davis. But to me, if this thing has to go to 7 games, that is a bad sign for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think the stamina, the pace, the wrinkles that the Warriors have been able to throw out there and that I think that they will continue to be able to throw out there, I'm nervous. I don't think Klay necessarily has another 30-point performance. I don't know that Steph for 12 more assists. To me, there are different pieces that can be moved. You saw the changes in the starting lineup. There's just more to toy with as far as the Lakers go. Now, to your credit, the Lakers are at home. AD is going to bounce back. But as far as that cadence of good game, bad game, at some point, if the Lakers are going to pull this thing off, that cannot be the rhythm. And I don't mean that that necessarily has to be the monstrous numbers that we saw from AD in game 1. But that rhythm to me means this thing goes 7, and that plays right into the Warriors' hands. And so I just don't know in terms of the consistency that the Lakers have demonstrated to this point. Quite frankly, about Bron's foot, like the health, if they can break that rhythm, that would swing it to allowing them to have an edge in this series. And I hear the road argument as far as the Warriors are concerned, but I think they kind of shook that thing off in the first round of the last series. And indeed, the playoff switch has been flipped with the return of Wiggins and Gary Payton II and all those guys. So I feel like the Warriors got the momentum right now.
You got something to say to Eminem before I go, KP?
You know what? I really do, because I think it's time to stop disrespecting the depth of the Lakers. When you look at Rui Hachimura, when you look at Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley haven't even touched the floor yet, and we know what kind of impact he has had. I watched Steve Kerr basically put Gary Payton II on the bench and roll with Moses Moody. So the Lakers still have an opportunity to make adjustments. We don't know what Darvin Ham is going to do. We don't know what he could. We don't know what he could do. So Draymond Green finally came to life. And I said this yesterday. Stephen A. and I was on NBA Today, and I said I believe the adjustment is actually Draymond Green and how he's going to play against Anthony Davis. That personal one-on-one matchup every single night is going to be the deciding factor in this series. And if I had to choose between the two, I'm going with Anthony Davis. I am. I'm going with Anthony Davis. It's 1-1.
Stephen A., can I just offer one thing?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the one thing, Perk, look, I don't think this thing is a landslide either way. This is going to be a very small margin for error in terms of who's going to be the victor in this series. But as we look at it, in terms of the key guys that are the catalysts, and you can say what you want about role players on the road at their various home arenas, the key guys at the catalyst, when I have the conversation about who at the center of each team is more sustainable at this point, to me, it just looks like everything that Steph creates. And AD, or if you want it to be LeBron, there's just more question marks about the sustainability of your centerpieces. That's why I was swinging toward the Warriors.
KP, there is a difference, my brother, between saying what you believe and speaking about it as fact. You believe that the Los Angeles Lakers still have an edge. You believe that they're going to show up. You believe in Anthony Davis. You don't.
Well, this is going to be. And so what happened was Steve Kerr had to make an adjustment for Game 2. The Lakers got an adjustment for Game 3. But you know the beauty of being on First Take? And I've been doing this for 3 years now. And I've learned from doing it. No, it's not about receipts, Monica. Sit back, keep a cool booty, and listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
It's not about receipts, but what I'm telling you is this.
Face.
Stephen A., check this out. I've learned that you don't come on First Take and you don't start your argument and you empty out your clip. You always got to keep something in the back pocket to have a comeback.
Always.
So I love how you brought up what I was talking about Anthony Davis to start the show, because this is not the first season that I've done it. You and I actually done it. We called them out when the Lakers won their first championship in the bubble about dominating the Houston Rockets. So let's not act like we haven't seen this duo in LeBron James and Anthony Davis get the job done when it comes down to winning championships.
Yeah, but
hold on.
But when I brought that up to you, a few months ago, do you know what you told me?
No,
you said,
what?
Stephen A., that was 3 years ago. I was about 40 pounds heavier then. That's what you told me?
No,
that's what you told me?
No, hold on, time out. After they made the trade, you could call my guy Greeny. I was one of the ones that told y'all that the Lakers were about to make a run. I was actually the one that said that Anthony Davis was about to carry this team while LeBron James was out. They did that. All I'm saying is that Steve Kerr did a great job. He made an adjustment. The Lakers are going to make an adjustment. Let's not act like it's not going to happen. Let's not act like Darvin Ham haven't won the championship. I know it was as an assistant coach, but he has been in these moments before. They will make adjustments as well. They have a championship level coach. Phil Handy is over there. Hold on. Phil Handy is over there.
We've been holding on a lot, brother. Keeping the cool booty, as you eloquently asked us to do. But the bottom line is, we listen to you and we hear you. Why are you talking to us like we acting like the Lakers ain't gonna win another game? We got it going 7 games. We got it going 7. We know there's adjustments. I'm just saying. We know they're gonna make adjustments. We know it's a chess match. I'm just saying. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, damn. You walking like you acting like we saying they're gonna lose every game. We got it going 7. We know it's gonna be adjustments. But we're just talking about who has the edge right now. And I think if you're gonna push it to a 7th game back at the Chase Center, that gives Golden State an edge.
I don't have it going 7.
What you got it going? What you got it going?
I got to go. I picked the Lakers in 6.
And I agree with you that if it goes 7, it's a problem. And so that to me is when we talk about the edge perk, that to me is part of the issue, is that you're going to have less of an opportunity, less of a runway to get this done if you are the Lakers. If it happens in 6, I'm with you. I don't think 7 is bad news bears for the purple and gold.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.
Tim Legler's back, as promised. It's touchscreen time. And we've seen Steph Curry go crazy, right? And he has the big three-point shooting nights. A dozen assists in this one. How much of that was a reaction to the way the Lakers attacked him in Game 1, and how did it work?
Total adjustment on the part of the Warriors. They actually did it in the fourth quarter of the last game with some success. And this tonight, they just gave it to him from the beginning of the game. He played more like a natural point guard. I'd say more possessions than maybe going back to like a second, third year in the league. That's how much he looked like a natural point tonight. And here's the difference that it makes. Show you some examples of him just getting the ball early. This one, he just gets it off the defensive glass. But this is why it's important, Scott, that he has the ball, because handle can disrupt any defensive game plan. And right here, Austin Reaves has him in a pretty good position. If you got Steph Curry pinned on the sideline, it's a great place to be. Problem is that handle comes into play. So he's going to go behind his back and get on this side of Austin Reaves because he's got that clever handle in the open floor. So right off the bat now he disrupts. Gets down here, he goes behind his back. Again. And so now what he ends up doing when he goes behind his back, he basically forces Anthony Davis to run into Austin Reaves. So now you're going to end up with 3 Lakers behind the basketball as he turns. And now he gets downhill. He's actually drawn 4 guys below the paint, and that's going to lead into a trail 3. This is all created by Curry. He doesn't get the assist on this, but that's all him having the ball early up the floor and his handle creating chaos. Here, once again, remember I said earlier about the commitment not being there tonight? Remember Game 1? Vanderbilt was up denying all of this stuff, and he was forcing the basketball to come in somewhere else and let someone else handle the ball. Tonight, no. And the other thing he was doing, he was getting up in Steph, and he was turning him 3 or 4 times. Didn't see that tonight. Now they're backing off. He's coming up the floor, and now he's got whatever he wants right here. Again, going to get a ball screen, comes off, occupy 2. Great thing he does, as always, gives it up early.
That ball's already out.
It's out of his hand, and that's something they've always done in Golden State. It lets Draymond get downhill, and now you're going to engage a backline defender, and all that's going to lead to a corner 3 over here. Again, all created by Steph without getting the assist. His handle created that, his passing ability, which we don't talk about enough as a point guard. And then this last one more time. Bring it up, no pressure in the backcourt. He's going to come up, and again, crosses over to create chaos off this brush screen. But watch this last part. I love this. If he throws the pass earlier, LeBron James is going to deflect it. But instead, he ends up bringing the basketball out here in this hand, wraps it around the only place he can to get it to Draymond. Draymond, who could then go attack the back line. You've got a 2-on-1 on the backside. You get a layup. None of these does Steph Curry get the assist. All of them attributed to Steph Curry because of his handle, his vision, his creativity. And look, it takes a willingness also for an elite scorer to accept that that's how it's going to be tonight, and that's how I'll beat you. And he decided to do that. I thought it was a great adjustment by the Warriors. We all saw it coming. Lakers didn't really adjust to it very well or handle it. That's now the chess match going forward. How do you deal with this version of Steph Curry?
And it's a short turnaround, Saturday night, Game 3 on ABC. Darvin Ham's going to look at that. He's going to see it. As the Lakers go back home, and they are more comfortable there, and we gave you the stat earlier about how well they've done in Game 3s of series where they've been tied 1-1. You'd expect to see them react and make adjustments. You want to see them do what?
Well, first, what I said earlier, Anthony Davis, more of a package for him. Other ways
not just
to affect
not just the action that they got on the ball
Correct.
tonight.
More action for him. Secondly, you're going to now have to deal with what are you going to do with Steph on these ball screens? You're going to try to blitz him and get it out of his hand a little bit, kind of like they did in the last possession of the game, where they just jumped him at half court, made somebody else go make a play and beat you. And then the final component is this. The push up the floor the entire game, and we didn't show anything there from the first half, was significant on the part of the Warriors, and I think it wore the Lakers out. So if you're Darvin Ham, you're going to be watching film. Look at the number of plays when there was 3 or 4 Warriors sprinting and only 2 Lakers. Even what looked like an innocuous play, maybe even after a score, they were getting beat down the floor and something good was happening really early in the shot clock. That's just effort. And I didn't see as much of that out of the Lakers tonight. And that's where you just challenge your team in a film session, because it does not lie. And guys can be embarrassed sometimes when they find themselves jogging when they swore they were sprinting.
These are where the games in the series really become interesting. It's true chess. You do this, we react. You do that, we react. We'll see what Game 3 has in store. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
Play, all right, the ultimate co-star. He had his back tonight. He had Steph Curry's back. You knew he was going to show up in a big way. I love what he just said, because it's so important as a shooter to watch yourself on tape and visualize, what you need to do to slow things down. That is the one thing about Klay Thompson. Sometimes he rushes because he squeezes it too tight because he wants it so bad. He came out early in this one and got it to an incredible rhythm. Look how fast
the ball's out of his hands
from the cradle to release. There's never been anybody faster, including his teammate Steph Curry. But what this does for a team to relax, knowing that one of those two guys is this hot in the first half. And Steph was very willing to take on all that pressure, all that attention, facilitate, and that's what it led to. But Klay Thompson, I think, having that good of a start to the game was so critical, because the Lakers were really good early offensively. Klay was matching them, kind of keeping them in it until they could make their run, and they did that later. So he's the headliner from the night offensively, and why this became such a blowout.
And he's an energy provider, but JaMychal as well. I mean, it gets a chance to Kevon Looney not feeling well, so you give a vet a chance, and how does his impact? He outscores Anthony Davis, by the way, in this game. Something else we'll get to. But how did the energy from players like that and DiVincenzo play into how this thing gets away from the Lakers?
Super interesting, because they're kind of forced to making this decision because it wasn't right. So they go with JaMychal Green. He played as many minutes tonight basically as he has in the entire playoffs. But it's ironic because it actually created incredible spacing for them early in the game, because you just had one big on the floor. He could just go camp out in the corner. It negated some of what Anthony Davis was able to do defensively to this team in the first game, when he basically shut off everyone's water in the lane. Well, here's the answer to that. Now let's just go put that other guy who would have been Looney camping out around the basket. Let's just go stick a three-point shooter in the corner. Now, it's one thing to stay ready as a pro, and Clay alluded to it, right? Staying ready is one thing.
Right.
Actually executing the shot making is entirely different on this stage with a lot of pressure. You get out, you're probably cooked. So for him to rise up was phenomenal. DiVincenzo gave them huge minutes. His energy, his hustle, his defense, just making plays that will not show up on the stat sheet that led to offense. Can't say enough about those two guys as role players having a major impact.
Okay, and again, the Steph Curry touchscreen coming in a little bit, and we're going to get to the Anthony Davis piece because that's really interesting. But first, let's hear what Darvin Ham had to say as the Lakers get blown out in Game 2.
My gut feeling, my instincts tell to me that my eyes saw us settle a little bit, mishandle the ball some early. We were right there early on, neck and neck, but a couple of possessions got away from us early, and I just thought they did a good job of crowding the paint, crowding the paint and not allowing us, trying to prevent us from playing downhill as much, and that in turn affects what we do at the free throw line. So we'll go back to the drawing board and look at different ways we can sustain what we did well and what we've done well over the course of these first two games, and then look at what we can possibly do better.
Of course, new series now, but you lose Game 2 in Memphis after winning Game 1. You get back home. Is there a different type of a sense of your team and how you think that you will respond, and how different are these than what these opponent challenges are?
Nah, I fully anticipate our team to respond in the right way.
Darvin, 11 points tonight, 11 shots, 1 free throw attempt. What did you make of Draymond's defense against him? And you referenced crowding the paint. They obviously, anytime he was rolling or trying to catch the ball, there was 2-3 guys around him at all times.
Dre, he's going to do his work early. And, it's a reason why he's a perennial all-defensive player. He's going to force tough catches, and when he's on the ball, he's his own ball activity, second to none. And he's been, top shelf his entire career in that regard. So again, we got to go back and look at ways we can move A around, put him in different spacing, different actions, and just try to diversify his attack.
I love listening to him talk. I feel like it's like listening to you because I feel like I always learn something when Ham is speaking. About Davis, let's give Draymond credit for defense for sure. But there's a word with him, Davis, I'm speaking of, that I'm hesitant to use because I feel like it's loaded. If I say engaged, it sounds like it means he doesn't care or he's not interested, and that's not what I'm saying. But he was so spectacular in Game 1, and then in Game 2 just doesn't impact it. What's a fair way to describe what he was or wasn't in this game?
Couple things. We're going to give Draymond Green a lot of credit. I'm going to collectively give them credit because of the way they were converging on him on any sort of dive action, okay? But it's almost like Anthony Davis sometimes comes to the arena after having a great game and saying to himself, well, I guess I'm going to see a different defense tonight. So he's almost prepared already to take his foot off the gas and let somebody else do it. Now, he had some decent looks in this one early that he didn't convert. But one of the things you'll notice on all of these clips that we just showed on the previous highlight when Darvin Ham had been talking, all of those were the same action. High ball screen, dive to the foul line, take a short jumper. Where are plays with his back to the basket on post-up action where you give him the ball deep, we can shoot a turnaround jumper or use a power dribble to draw people? Where is he on the offensive glass? Non-existent tonight in those regards. So this is a guy that when he doesn't add those to his game and show you the full package, he is bailing out someone because of his length, strength, and skill. If you don't see all of it, then you have a chance to defend him, and that's what happened tonight. All of it was high ball screen, dive to the middle lane. Either he gets a shot or he doesn't. That's pretty much all he did the entire game. So I'll put some of it on the Lakers not utilizing the same way, but also there's just that less effort than you see some nights. And Golden State needed this out of Anthony Davis to have a chance to get back in the series.
Because he shows you the ceiling, and when you see it, you're reminded there are very few who can hang, if any. And then in a game like this where it just feels pedestrian, and I just wonder, you heard the question about Memphis, right? Like, the script is similar. You win the one, then you get blown out in Game 2, but you're not playing Memphis. No. How dangerous a game is it if you're the Lakers to try to play it'll be like the Memphis series script?
I'll tell you one thing that stood out to me tonight, Scott, based on the difference between the two teams. Lakers got gassed tonight. They were gassed.
That's interesting, isn't it?
The commitment to the way they played them defensively in the first game was